If you saw my post, I was talking about my chronic illness today. I talked about a couple of them, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit of the things that I have learned since kind of going on this whole healthy journey. So I don't like to take medicine. It's heart disease, diabetes, cancer, like all of these things run in my family. And my grandma was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at 84 years old, which is very, very, very uncommon. And as I have started to learn a little bit more about autoimmune disease and what that means, I want to share with you a couple of the things that I have learned. And don't ever take my word for it. Do your own research. I have met someone locally that I've consulted with that has gone through all of this with me. So I'm just sharing with you the things that I have learned and then researched along my way. And then I'll share with you the things that I'm doing to hopefully reverse this whole situation. So the thing with my autoimmune is when I was tested after my, I don't even know how many times, when I was dealing with all my female stuff and had to have my hysterectomy, my doctor would, I had to have a CBC almost every 4 weeks, complete blood panel, because I was anemic, my iron was really low, and I almost ended up having to have a blood transfusion, and probably would have. COVID happened and I just wasn't going to go back to the hospital. And so right before my last appointment, he felt nodules on my thyroid. So he sent me down for testing. My numbers came back normal, and so I didn't really think anything about it. Well, fast forward probably about a year after my hysterectomy, maybe 14 months, I started just becoming completely exhausted in the middle of the afternoon. I would take like a 2 and 3 hour nap. Sometimes I would go to bed and sleep for hours. And so I finally decided to, I had met this girl, Sarah, on Facebook, and one day she had shared a video that her husband was talking about thyroid disease. And so I started listening to him, and he was explaining all of the symptoms that I was experiencing. So I called him, I went in, I had, he does like a full blood test. I couldn't afford to do the whole thing, so I just said, these are the things I've struggled with over time. These are the surgeries I've had. These are the situations I've dealt with. And so based on that, he picked 3 areas, tested my thyroid, and then broke down a couple of my hormone things. And so thyroid disease, a lot of people, like I said, my doctor tested my thyroid and my numbers came back normally. But when Andrew tested my blood, your ideal thyroid number should be 0. And the doctors often test your T3, reverse T3, T3, and T4. And so my numbers, when you look at it from a medical standpoint, came back within range. But if you look at my thyroid peroxidase and my thyroglobulin, one of those numbers, while they ideally should be 0, less than 60 is optimal, one of them came back at 252 and the other came back at 95, which is automatically telling me that I have autoimmune disease. And so just because your numbers come back normally at the doctor, depending on what they test, that may not be an accurate description. So what does that mean? That means that when someone has thyroid disease, like very few people actually have thyroid disease. Like your thyroid pretty much like runs your entire body. So if your immune system is attacking your thyroid, while someone may say you have thyroid disease, it may actually be something else. My grandma has been treated for thyroid disease for years and years and years, which after going through all of this and learning this, I know that she has a mistreated, undiagnosed, some kind of complication in her body that now, because she treated thyroid disease that she didn't really have, instead of getting to the root cause, it caused RA at a later point in her life. So if you don't actually find and treat the underlying issue, RA, lupus, this whole list of things that if they go untreated, you could deal with those later in life. My mom, same thing. She has thyroid disease that she's on medication for. But if you talk to her about her joints or a lot of the issues that she's having these things like come on her skin. It's untreated autoimmune, whatever it is. It's turned into autoimmune because she's not found the exact cause of her situation, whatever that may be. So, Andrew's at the Wellness Way in Shipshawana. The way that he explained it to me, which I love this analogy. I'm a visual person. So if you think about, we go to the doctor, why? Because something's wrong. We know that something is wrong. And so, yes, a doctor went to school to diagnose you and prescribe you something to fix what's wrong with you, right? That doesn't always mean that unless you take initiative that they're going to search for the thing that is bothering you. What Wellness Way does is they're more like the carpenter. If you go to any kind of naturopath and have blood drawn or something like that, they want to be more where a doctor's like a firefighter going in to put out your fire. They want to be more like the builder or a construction worker who's going in to like rebuild after the fire. So that's what's happened between my hysterectomy, all the hemorrhaging I did, multiple surgeries, Lupron shots, medical menopause, a hysterectomy, endometriosis, fibroids, like all of these things with probably a combination of my IBS literally has wreaked havoc on my body over the past probably 20 plus years. And so now I'm having to go back and not take a pill every day, but try to heal my body from the inside out. So what does that look like? Like, how do you do that? Well, you pay for it, one. But I would rather know at 40 that I'm fixing myself from the inside out instead of just taking a pill to Band-Aid it and then potentially, end up with RA at 84 years old. So leaky gut is something that I deal with. And so this talks about how you have GI issues. If you don't fix your GI issues, that can lead down here to food intolerance, which I have food allergies. Like I went, I don't know how many years ago and had the $900 test and I've got a wheat, corn, and peanut allergy. Like literally everything has wheat and corn in it. And I love peanut butter. I still eat it. It makes me feel like crap. Probably shouldn't eat it, but I do anyway. And that leads to immune system issues, which if you don't properly take care of your body here, the GI inflammation comes through. These are the cells in your stomach and it creates leaky gut, which leads to this, which leads to this. And if you don't fix it in time or the right way, you luck out like me and it leads to autoimmunity. So it takes 6 to 12 months to really get a good buildup of supplements in your body. So about every 6 weeks, I go back to Wellness Way and load up on my supplements. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I take. So every day, in the morning and at night, I do 1/2 teaspoon of chamomile. And chamomile is for gut health. I also do Remana, which is hormone and adaptogen blend. So same thing, 1/2 teaspoon, which they give you a little squirt thing. So it's like 1 squirt is 1/2 teaspoon, and I do that in the morning and the night. And then this is Chase Tree, and that is progesterone. So that is for my hormones. Albizia, inflammation. I got lots of inflammation. And then I've got reishi and chaga, which are mushrooms, and these are both for immunity. And then I mix them. I've got my nasty little thing here, and I mix it. I do squirt, 4 squirts twice a day. I fill this up to 1 ounces with organic pure aloe juice, mix my supplements in there, chug it down with a little bit of lemon juice every day. So it takes a year, it takes a year and a half to really start to feel the effects of what these things are doing. But they're healing my body from the inside out, and it takes time. But you don't have to live with autoimmunity forever. Like, this is something that my body can heal from if I stay on track with my supplements. So I mean, it's expensive. This is almost $300 worth of supplements, but they last me about 6 weeks. And I wait until everything's gone. Some run out faster than the others, and then I just go and get a restash. And I mean, when you think about the things that you spend money on, it's kind of like your health and your fitness. It's kind of like eating healthy foods. People tell me all the time, well, I can't afford your workout program. Okay, first of all, it's $160 for all your meal plans, nutrition, 80 some workouts, which is like 1,200 workouts. Like, yeah, you can afford it. Can I afford not to treat my autoimmune? Can I afford to put a Band-Aid pill on something that's not actually going to allow me to live my happiest, healthiest life? I don't really think I can afford that. Emotionally, especially. So it's just something that you really need to make sure that you are researching yourself. If you have any sort of issue that you are dealing with that you're not sure where to go, don't assume that having your blood taken or a homeopathic option isn't one to explore. Because for me, I would rather take a natural organic supplement that is made with like sustainable resources than to take something that's funding like drug companies. Not that I'm opposed to medication. Sometimes medication is just needed. I don't live without my ibuprofen. I'm on an antibiotic right now for like my 47th sinus infection in the past 4 months. So I'm not saying anything bad about medicine. It is absolutely necessary. What I'm saying is that when it comes to something like autoimmune disease or a chronic illness, please make sure that you are taking the steps to be educated in the thing that is actually going on with your body. Because we have all these different systems in our body. So you have your nervous system, and then surrounded by your nervous system, you have your endocrine system, your digestive system, your skeletal system, your whatever this is system, your immune system, your muscular system, respiratory system, and circulatory system. And just from the testing he did for me, I know I have immune, digestive, and endocrine issues, and he said you probably got a couple of the other ones too. So your body's made up of all of these different systems that are supposed to function. See the little wheel? Like, they're supposed to function optimally in order for you to be living your best life. And for those of us who are dealing with some kind of autoimmune disease or some kind of chronic illness, you've got to find the root cause. And just because someone says you have thyroid issues doesn't mean you actually have thyroid issues. Like I said, most people who are diagnosed with thyroid issues, it's not actually a thyroid issue. It's something that is causing your thyroid to react in order to think it thinks it's protecting your body. Know your body, research your body, learn about your body, your specific body. Go talk to Andrew at Wellness Way. He loves Jesus, which is why I went to him in the first place. I feel like there's a serious, legit, authentic program here, and I'm glad that we have one locally. Wellnessway.com has some info. They have them all over the country, and he actually ships supplements. So if you don't live in this area, but you want to work with someone like Andrew, he actually ships. He can contact your doctor and do the blood testing through them, and then he actually can ship you the supplements that you need. So I highly recommend that you invest research. I highly recommend that you invest time in knowing the things that you need, and don't put it off. Don't put it off. The longer you wait, the worse you feel, and it's just not worth it. So just had to share. Take care. God bless.